All right, good morning, YouTube land. Let me know if you can hear me, please. Anybody out there? Me, please. Bueller. Thank you, Curious. All right, I'm going to do the disclaimer. I'll be back in a minute.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites are digital venues for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit or that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment and host Apple Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41. Hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account holder is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results and all of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trade room and its webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trade recommendations. The analysis and setups I share are trades and potential trades that I'm taking for myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of this room is to teach traders how to identify specific areas to trade with an edge for themselves, but ultimately the decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky, and if you do decide to follow my personal trades, you do so at your own risk and could potentially lose your entire account and even more. I'm not always profitable and have routine drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet you have access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use to enter zone values and ATR values that help me pinpoint exact prices for my trades. You can see when I enter zone prices into the master spreadsheet as well as the prices to enter trades whether you want to go long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter in your own values and use mine to confirm zone prices until you're able to draw the zones correctly yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction to trade as it has entry prices and stop prices for both long and short positions depending on which way you personally decide to trade. Alrighty, good morning. So I'm currently watching Mr. NASDAQ here. There was a buy stop run a little bit ago.
Prior RTY long validated. RTY long validated.
I got some stuff in Russell as well. I didn't hear this stuff fire off, so I got some couple sell icebergs here. So you know, when you get these back-to-back zones, you want to merge them many times.
Prior RTY long validated.
Very
Prior
likely.
RTY long validated. Prior RTY.
Very likely one house.
RTY long validated.
Right.
RTY long validated.
So that is actually broken ice setup, one of my 6 distinct SI setups, and this was into an Izzy zone. So actually I should be long here aggressively, meaning first move out of the SI event, so I have 2 different types of entries. So the stop iceberg event was in there, broken ice. I have either ATR retest confirm entry or the aggressive entry. This I should be taking an aggressive entry. This, you know, he did have balance here yesterday, but this is far enough from there where I'm not afraid of standing in front of that, meaning I'll take it aggressively, or I should be taking this aggressively. I am bearish, you know, these markets are about to be. Let me get this in here right now. I'm going to take this long in Russell, though. If this comes up to the, you can see it, I should have been filled there right to the tick. I'd be bitching about that right now. But if it comes, I'm not going to get in on this move down. If it comes back, I'll enter. I should already be in. Traders always ask me, well, if you should have been in up here, why don't you get up here, get in down here at a better price? I just feel like I got away with something, especially with these prices that we work with off these zones. They're so ridiculously accurate. I just feel like I got away with something by not, you know, if it's moving back down, because I get ticked all the time to my fills. So if this comes back here, I will enter the Russell short. You know, overall thesis, just by what's going on with the iceberg events today, we've had 2 different events, one in ES, one in Russell, that proved to be bullish based on my rules, meaning they can push an ATR, 5-minute ATR out of the zone. And they both failed. So that one failed. That's telling you something's up overall. Like when these events are failing, especially in this market environment. You did the same thing in ES. You had some huge sell ice come in pre-market. This is back-to-back days. This has happened, by the way. Somebody keeps selling it, but it did prove bullish, so I had no shorts off of this per my rules, and then that failed. So something's going on here. I will take shorts off of this event in here. We'll get to that here in a second, but let me put this, again, my thesis is bearish, but Russell's already basically shown its hand, and looks like these other markets are about to follow as far as what's going on. You had this balance area, then you had that balance area, that failed. You had that balance area, that failed balance breakout there, and we're down here. So this is already starting to show, the cracks. It's already made the move, but it's into a zone. Even if I have an opinion on the market, I still take my trades based on my rules. So
Stock by GC 155 contracts.
actually, I wanted to be long
GC
pull
long
too.
entered.
Hold on, we'll get to that here in a second. I forgot to put this in. 1 second here. So I am long Barkin Lick Gold. I'll get to that here in a second. It's off of this event right here. Actually, red rum too. If you don't know what I'm talking about, understandable. I'll get to that here in a second. Anyway, I was off of this event. We'll go over that when I have a new event here. Now I can trail my stop. So I should have been in right here anyway, and this new event just fired off, so I can trail my stop to that. I'll come back to that in a second. Let me get this Russell long in too. So based on the zone drawing tool, I'll post this information here in a second. This gives me all the information I need as far as entry, exit. That's the yellow line is the entry. You can see that down there in the bottom left, long aggressive. That just tells me my price. I'll go over this all in this webinar, what I'm doing here. 2377.6, and I can put on 7 micros based on my risk level. So this is our Russell Izzy inflection zone long. Let me get this going. So it comes back up there. 2377.6 is my entry for this long. Again, I am about to be very bearish these markets, at least short term, but this fits my parameters for the trade. I don't know what's going to happen next, so I put it on. I don't trade what I feel. I trade what I see. All right. So anyway, I've got shorts working here in Nasdaq. This is so I'm talking about different trading strategies when I'm talking about these things, right? So I have different trading strategies, meaning where I look for these volume events, which is the whole foundation of my trading. These volume events I'm looking for in important areas, right? So I wait for real-time volume to confirm my areas, and then I take the trades. There's something to be said of just trading these. I actually had a mentoring session today with a fellow that just trades these things blindly, and there's still an inherent edge in this, meaning he waits for the pattern that we talk about, the blind ATR retest confirm, and he takes them all. That's perfectly fine too. But if you are watching certain areas, and I don't care what areas you think are important, it's not for me to tell you what areas you think are important. What I say is demand a volume event there, and you have a much better chance of that area working in the direction, as long as the Stop Iceberg event is in that same direction, because you're getting real-time volume in that area, right? It's one thing having lines on a chart. It's another thing having the real-time volume come in at those lines on the chart. So anyway, what I'm potentially taking here in NASDAQ is a failed balance breakout. It's already shown its hand a couple times now. This thing should have ripped off the page, right? So you had this balance area at the time. You had a failed balance breakdown. Well, it held it the first time, and then it came back again and got through that high volume node of this dude, right? So this should have ripped there. Didn't rip, right? Then we built more balance. That was this. Not we, it. And then it tried to break out yesterday, failed again, and now we're through this. So this is it's called FBB, failed balance breakout or breakdown. I just call it FBB. Someone just asked in the room, actually. But that is not bullish, and that is through there. So the way I trade this strategy is the first event I get after that happens, I take that trade aggressively. So that is this strategy. Oops, it's not that. Sorry. Right here. So that is right here. Failed balance breakout or breakdown, FBB. It's an aggressive entry. We'll get to that. Failed break of the longer term balance area on the hourly chart or half hour, 30-minute chart, where market travels back through the balance area, high HVN, high volume node, Trades are taken aggressively on the first SI event. So
Yes,
that
short validated.
just showed you that. Just quickly again. Here's your balance. There was your attempted breakout yesterday. Got through the high volume node. That's just the middle of a balance area where all the trade occurred. First volume that I get, I take aggressively out of there, meaning I'm not waiting for a retest. So that's this. So if this was this buy stop run that happened right around 8:50 Central, as long as this doesn't get an ATR out of here to the upside, I'm taking this short and I'm taking it aggressively at 59.25. Right? So that's first move out. I have other trades where I wait for ATR retest confirm, which I'm going to do here in ES as well. So more sell eyes just came in, right? There's no FBB on this in this market. We'll look at this here in a second, but this is already, actually I might be able to put these on right now. Hold on here. This already confirmed. So I use the ATR, the 5-minute ATR, to confirm which way I'm trading these events. And this is just from watching a million of these things over the last 8 years. If the market's able to push an ATR out, and that's that blue line right there, the current ATR is 5.16, 5-minute Welter's ATR. That's telling me the current volatility of the market. Extremely important in your trading, right? So that's a decent ATR, meaning there's some decent volatility going on right now. So I wait for the market to push the ATR out, and then this is for certain trades, and then if a retest confirms, then I get in. So this just tagged the ATR, so this isn't officially a bearish event. I didn't do anything off of here because for my areas, aka trading strategies, I don't have an aggressive entry per se right now. And it didn't take that anyway, but it did take the ATR. If we get a retest and confirm, I can put on for sure 2 different strategies: the bark, blind ATR retest confirm, and the lick, which is a bark, but we're trading for heavy resting liquidity. Longer term, this isn't crazy, but this is good enough here where that would be probably my target for that trade. That's about 10 points. Let's see if we got anything else here. Anything crazy as far as liquidity. So that's the biggest band, but I would take that trade here if we get the retest confirmed. As far as aggressive entries, meaning where I'm not waiting for the retest, I don't really have anything yet here. This looks a little bit different than NASDAQ. I mean, you could have, this is not, that you could make that a balance area. It's kind of right there at the high volume node. So I wouldn't take that trade right here as far as the same trade I'm taking in NASDAQ. If I started getting events below this, then yeah. And then you could actually even make this a bigger balance, because it is, right? Your balance areas are just loaded up traders. Markets trade in 2 states. They're either balancing or they're trending. They're balancing or they're trending, right? So balance areas are just traders placing bets. It's the same stuff with our SI events. It's just shorter term. When the market moves out of these areas, that's when you get your bigger moves, because whoever's wrong needs to get the hell out of the trade, right? So that's what we're watching here. If this ends up breaking this, that's going to be probably a whopper to the downside. So I'm looking at the same thing in NASDAQ, and this looks a little more bearish than that, right? This is all fractal too. You can do it on a 5-minute chart, a 1-minute chart. Obviously, the longer the time period, the more powerful they are, because it's just more traders loaded up. So you can do that, and you could have done that, and you could have done that. So it's, they're balances within balances. But the point is, if this puppy breaks, which it's real close to doing, whoever's been long for over a week, is not going to be feeling very good, longer term traders, and they're going to want to get out of the trade. You're going to see very, very, very likely stop runs out of here, because it's guys puking out their positions. So that's what we are trading for. Again, for that one, I'm trading fail balance breakout. So if that starts to break, I'm in. And then there's other trading strategies I could put on too as they occur. So we got the ATR, we got the retest. Now if we get it confirmed, I'm going short ES as well. Different strategies though, the bark and the lick, and I'm going short at 599.75, and I can put on 7 based on my risk level. So these Apex accounts, we'll get into Apex. $5,000 accounts, I'm risking 10% on the trades of the Apex accounts. Do not risk 10% of if you're trading money that you're living on, do not risk 10% on a single trade, or you are going to have a point, at some point you're going to blow out your account. That's just too big to be trading. The most you should be trading is 2%. I'm more aggressive on these because they are the Apex, I have some fund and some not. But the point is, it's not, I'm not living on this money. So if I happen to blow it out, it's fine. I'm willing to trade bigger, is what I'm saying. So $599.50. I'm not going to trade double size here. I will trade double size on NASDAQ because of my thesis. I could trade double size here. Actually, I will trade double size here. And we'll go over the thesis. I have different ways of coming up with the thesis, aka a guess on which way the markets are going to trade.
192 contracts.
That does not mean that I don't take trades. Like I said, I would take this long in Russell. I'm going to take this long Russell. My thesis is bearish, but I'm a day trader. I'll take both longs and shorts. Anyway, this comes back here. I'll go over my thesis in here too, based on market profile. 599.50, and I'm going to go short bark and lick. I'm going to trade double size here, so it says I should be putting on 6. I'm going to put on 12, and this is based. The quantity is determined by the volatility and the size of the zone, and that tells me what I should be trading based on my risk level. So we got bark and lick, and then we got it double size. I got about 4 different accounts I'm trading here, so give me a second so I can put these puppies on. 599.50. That's working there. And there. So I got multiple accounts that I'm trading here. So it takes me a while to do everything by hand. Alright, so those are working. So this is, got your ATR, got your retest.
Yes, short and
Stop filled.
Now I'm filled, right? Hopefully it's not to the tick. It's been happening a lot lately. All right, so now that I'm filled, where is my stop? Well, I stop out.
S&P stocks LDS.
So that's even better.
114
Now we got a new event I could trail my stop to, but I was originally going to put my stop right here, as I would actually move it out of that prior event. But what I'm forcing this market to do for me to be wrong, so I don't get algoed out of the trade, just whipsawed out of the trade. If I'm going to be wrong, say this didn't happen, just say we're going off this. It's got to come all the way back to the ATR we talked about. It's got to get through the volume event, which is trap traders, and it's got to push another ATR plus for me to say uncle.
Stop filled.
So I'm short now, everything. So it should work out great in these market conditions, but it is what it is, guys. Like, this is, the vents are saying bearish, I'm short. All right, awesome. So now we got something else in that queue. So this is the best scenario, is when you get in a position and you get a new event. That's how I trail my stop, right? So I just got short FBB double size here too. We just talked about that. My stop was up here. Now, because of this event, my stop is here. What I'm going to do, though, I'm not stopping out right in front of this volume event. I'm going to move it out because there's trap traders here that will want to get out if it comes back. So, you could stop out here. This is a little subjective, where you say, okay, I'm giving this one shot to die because these markets are so bungee jump every single time they sell off. You can say, hey, if this comes back, I'm out there. I don't need to risk another 20 points. I'm willing to move my stop out of this zone, so I'm going to put it
at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We get our weekly EIA natural gas change.
So you see there down at the bottom left there, it says 21.0575. So I'm going to put my stop at 06. I'm willing to risk another 19 points to not get stopped out back in this prior event. So let me put all these in because I got some big size on here. Relatively, that is. Double size. So 21.106 is my stop for the NASDAQ. Excuse me. That's all I got on NASDAQ right now is the FBB. I didn't put on Barks and Licks because we never got the ATR retest confirmed, right? So I would have put on Barks and Licks off of this as well, but that just never happened. But I did, so I have strategies that demand the retest. I have strategies where I get in the first break of the zone. That one was the first break of the zone. This guy I could put on Barks and Licks as well. This guy I can't now, right? So I was willing to do that, but now we have a new event. So if this actually turns bullish, because we're always defaulting in the most recent volume event, the most recent thing that's happening in the market. If this turns bullish, I can't take Barks and Licks short off of that anymore, right? So, but if this does, then I can put on that for that. So anyway, my stops trail for my FBB up there. So let me get it on all these accounts because I will forget, and then I will look over and get smoked, which happens all the time. 6, because I'm doing, I'm watching basically 10 to 15 markets at one time.
Short validated.
And doing everything by hand, so that's the issue. I make tons of mistakes. All right, so those are working. As far as ES stops, all right, so now you got a, actually this is one of the 7th wonders of the world, the rare unicorn step bros. What step bros? Sell stops with sell ice. So you can see the zone drawer is just, if you've watched any of my webinars for the last 8 years on Bookmap, had to draw these by hand. It's just a huge pain in the ass. Now it draws it, picks up this activity automatically and draws the zones. So these were basically back to back. So I'm going to merge these. So you had 514 stops over here, and you have another 2,000 sell ice. So somebody's in here unloading on this market today. Doesn't mean they're going to be right. And paper's not always right. Paper meaning the big money, but they're right more often than wrong, because if they just keep putting in sell orders, the market's going to relent. And you can see it's been nothing. This was pre-market 2,000 sell ice. You had more here, so there's another close to 1,000, and then you have another 2,000 here. So, again, they could be wrong. We have, all I do is I trail my stop based on these events, but they're more likely to be right than wrong because they're the big money, right? And they could just keep putting in orders. Here we go. So there's been something wrong with I got to X out of this and then bring it back. There's been something wrong with my zone drawing tool on ES. Let's just see, hopefully this will work here. So this is actually a good example. So if you have the zone drawing tool, and I'll post this document here in a second that gives you access, shows you access to all this stuff. If you have a problem with adjusting the zones or drawing zones manually, X out of it. If you have it as a floating window, bring it back into your main. Right, this is my main here, and then pull it back out, and then the zone drawer should work. So it's a workaround until Johan, who's the developer of these things, he's a trader in my trade room, comes up with a fix for it. All right. So anyway, I'm short barks and licks off of ES, double size. Just talked about that. My stop was supposed to be up here. New event. It's down here. But I'm doing the same thing here. I'm not stopping out in this activity. I'm moving it above. So this is where it gets subjective if you don't want to stop out at the regular price. Because now, if I'm going to do that, then if I'm stopping, put it above that activity, well, then why wouldn't I put it above that activity? Well, you could, but now instead of stopping out at 0575, I got to stop out at like 1675. Do I want to risk an extra 10 points on the trade to find out, to not stop out in prior activity? That's what you have to decide, right? Most of the stuff I do is very, very straightforward, very black and white, where you get in, where you get out. There's times, because it's trading and these are markets, that you got to decide on your own what you're going to do here. So, because I'm bearish, there's two schools of thoughts here too. So I'm bearish these markets short term, right? We've talked about that based on my thesis stuff, right? So the thesis I was going to show you guys here quickly was that we went over the structure stuff. Well, I'm also bearish based on what happened with market profile today, right? So this is kind of the same look as the balance areas.
Time,
right?
we get the weekly EIA natural
So
gas change forecast to build
that market
39
blew
BCF.
out of there today. That's Nasdaq, and we just got some new levels too. So that's bearish. If this can hold prior blue directional yellow, then you expect the next blue. We'll get into that. I don't want to confuse you guys yet. If you're not already confused, if you're new, you probably are. What did I just do there? I just X out of my ES. Oh, here it is. Not sure why that happened. All right, so anyway, same thing happened with ES, right? So I have a few different ways of coming up with thesis, right? We've already talked about the bar charts based on structure and what should happen, what didn't happen, so on and so forth. We talked about this market should have ripped, it didn't. Now it's failed this balance area. So that's one way to come up with a thesis. So a thesis is just a guess. I still will trade. If my thesis is short and I get a long setup in an important area in Nasdaq or ES, I'll take the long. But if I get these volume events, which are the most important that I've been showing you and talking about for about 8 years now, in the direction of my thesis, then I trade bigger. That's all I'm doing. A thesis is just a guess. I have no idea what's going to happen next, and anyone who tells you they do is full of you-know-what. So I let the real-time volume tell me which way the market I should be trading. All right, so anyway, the thesis off of this is short. Doesn't mean it needs to do, it could come back, and I have a trade for that too. The point is, all this stuff is pointing lower, and I'm getting volume events in that direction, so I trade bigger. So, make no mistake, it's been very, very, very difficult being short these markets, especially after the election. Every single dip is bought. So, if you're going to go short, you better, even if you're right, you better be ready for this type of trade, because you've got these traders that think, oh man, I got a discount now. I didn't chase it. Now I got the pullback. Okay, now I'm going long. So that's what you got to deal with if you go short. I'm not going to shy away from shorts, but I know I'm going to be in for some probably pain sitting in the thing, at least for watching the whipsaw, right? So anyway, keep an eye on this too. This is Hero. All right, so this is, we're starting to get into, this is the trace. We're starting to get into areas where these options buyers and dealers are going to start buying. You see this blue. This is an area you really want to pay attention to. And the other day I was short and I was not watching this, and I got out of some other areas that I get out. I didn't see this, and it bounced right off the huge gamma. This is real time, 0 day to expiration stuff, which is very, very important in these markets these days. And we'll get into that because I'm using another service, Mentor Q2, that gives me the levels for the other products like CL and GC and stuff like that. We'll get into that. Anyway, if this does make it down here, you got the spot gamma implied 1 day move. All right, and actually I will show you that. Let me see if I can find that real quick for you to give you an example. And if you guys get, so this is what I was showing my trade room, by the way. That was what I was explaining, this failed balance breakout in NASDAQ. That was earlier. I forgot what I was just saying. Anyway, let me see if I can find this. It's Tuesday. Yeah, here it was. So I caught this move down in ES.
And Q long
Right.
validated.
Oh, I got this thing too low. I can't hear the events firing up. All right, so first of all, this event in NQ is now just proven long, right? So I didn't stop out here for this short. Remember, I moved it above here. This is exactly why. I don't want to stop out into this stuff. But if you said, hey, I'm just going to follow the normal stop, then you just, you didn't stop out yet. But if it touches 08 or 88, you're out. Anyway, I can't take barks and licks off of this either because this is now a bullish event. So there are trades I can take off this potentially bullish. So let's see. So I will potentially stop out of my shorts and go long. This is an Izzy zone, right? We got natural gas number coming out too. I definitely want to keep an eye on that. I'll go over that, but I don't usually trade that on these webinars.
Prior ES long validated. ES long validated.
All right, so see now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going through pain here on these damn shorts. So I could go long here, Izzy, but I'm not entering here. If it stops me out of my short, I'm going to take an Izzy long here. And I'm bearish. We just got done talking about this, so I will go over what I'm talking about, but I need to put this in. It's just, this is what you're going to go through if you're short. Doesn't mean these shorts aren't going to work, but I'm going through pain, and they may not. All right, so 2106, I will stop out, and I'm going to go long. So, I gave it a shot. I followed my rules. I did nothing wrong there. At the end of the day, I'll go back to the stuff I was talking about there in a second. At the end of the day, all you can do is follow your rules. You don't know what's going to happen next. I took these shorts like I was supposed to take them.
42 BCF, build 42 BCF, higher than the expected build.
That's natural gas.
BCF.
We'll go over there in a second. Anyway, all I can do is follow my rules. This is now a bullish event. So let's see what I could have taken, or I still can take the longs because I'm not taking them into that zone. This was an Izzy, right? And this is happening not every time the market tries to sell. Oh, that was just a little one. Bungee jump. Here's another one. Buy and tail. Bungee jump. Bungee jump. Bungee jump. So they just, you've got these buyers that come in every time it sells off. It sucks. So that's an Izzy zone. So remember I said, so what I got to decide here now, I either get out right here. What I'm going to do here is I'm not going to put it all the way above that pre-market stuff. If I'm wrong on this short, I'm going to get out at just above this line here. So 6,010. Granted, it is only another 6 points. So this is what I'm talking about. I got to make a decision here. I could just stop out right here and say, this turned into a bullish event, I'm out. Or I get out there, or I move it up here. For 6 points, that's not that crazy today because the ATR is elevated. That's only basically another ATR. So I will do that, even though this was pre-market, just because this is so much size. This was 2,000. So there's like 2,000 buyers here that aren't feeling very good, where it's very likely going to do that. So I'm going to bite the bullet here. If I'm going to be wrong on this trade, again, I should be out right now. So say this stuff didn't happen and I got short, or say this happened and I got short, you could be out right there. That's where the zone drawing tool tells you should be out. I'm going to move it up here. That's my personal decision. If you want to say, what, I gave it a shot, that's a great thing too about these new events, right? So I got short off of this. My original stop was way up here. So, here you're basically just losing a couple points, 5 points, which is nothing. It's an ATR. I'm willing to risk that extra 10 points. That's my decision. It's probably really stupid, but I just know how traders react when they are wrong, these buyers were wrong. They felt pain here. Here it's coming back. They're holding their breath. Oh, thank God. And then they get out. So that's why I'm willing to risk another 10 points on this to see if I can get this to move back down. Your decision. That's what I'm doing. You shouldn't be mirroring my trades anyway. You got to make your own decisions on this stuff. So I'm going to move it up to 16 for my exit. This is going to hurt too because I traded double size. So if I'm wrong on these, it's going to leave a mark. But this is my, you got to make decisions in trading, and this is my decision. All right, so those are working. I put it above both of these volume events. If you want to get out here and see, this is exactly what I'm talking about, though. This is what I don't want to happen, right? I would have stopped out. It's already rejecting that prior event. So if they could, you guys look at it as a competition, right? You just say to yourself, okay, well, if these buyers can get this market back up through this, back up through that, where all these longs are trapped, any longs that held on, then you say, congratulations, uncle, you win, on to the next trade. You just view it as a competition. That's what I'm saying I need to see. So that's for that. Same thing with NASDAQ. This is why I do what I do. It's not saying I can't come back up here, but this first move up and right into this failed, right? So if it gets up here, then like I just said, congratulations, you guys win again. The longs win again. Uncle. Let's see what our hero's doing here, and then I'll show you what I was talking about. Oh, anyway, if it does get down here, what I was trying to show you before the market started bungee jumping on me. So the other day I was short ES, and I got out of some. This was my trade room. I think we took the trade in the AM webinar, and it moved down, and I wasn't paying attention to this real time. You had this big one, and you had the spot gamma daily move. It literally touched this and then ripped. So pay attention to this stuff. This is all stuff here. Let me post this in the room. Anyway, I want to keep an eye on that if this moves down here, and then keep an eye on hero. So this does not, this stuff is delayed a little bit. This hero is pretty much real time, right? So you want to keep an eye on this. If this thing like turns up and starts to rip $1 billion notional to the upside, watch out. It's probably going to rip, right? Because you got these options dealers that have to hedge, so you know they're going to be buying. So this isn't scaring me yet. I mean, it hasn't really took that little bounce there, but it's pretty much back to lows. I want to see what's going on with the internals here. ADD's nothing, flat. Tick's not doing much. So you're not going to get a meaningful sell-off most of the time if you're not seeing the overall market down ticking, right? So you can see what does that mean? It means you want to see 1,000 or more, right? And this will make a noise if it touches that. So you can see this is just hovering around. This is the NYSE tick, which is more applicable to ES and Dow. And then this is the NASDAQ tick. Neither one of these things could, I mean, NASDAQ touched 500, minus 500, but neither one of these are near 1,000. So until you see that, very likely going to be chop fest trying to move lower. So keep an eye on that. What does that mean? It doesn't mean, I mean, it's fine. I mean, I still take my trades, but I use that to kind of judge. And I'm not surprised if this, stops me out because the overall market just isn't selling off yet. So that it is what it is. I haven't done anything wrong yet today as far as my rules. So that's what I was saying earlier. That's how you judge yourself at the end of the day. You don't judge yourself on your P&L. You judge yourself, did I follow my rule? If you have a strategy, if you have an edge, and you have strategies with rules, that's all you can do. If you followed your rules, you're going to have days where stuff just doesn't work. You move on to the next day. You stop yourself out at your predetermined risk amount. You're not deciding on a fly because that's when you get pissed off and you start doing stupid stuff. Take it from me. You say, all right, my max loss for today is $1,000. I'm risking $200 per trade. If I have 5 losing trades, I'm done for the day. There's always another day. You don't say, well, I already lost 1,000, might as well risk another 1,000. Well, shit, now, pardon my language, now I already lost 2, I might as well risk 2 more, and all of a sudden you lose $4,000, $8,000, $10,000 and your account was 20, right? Like, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Have this stuff predetermined. I know it's real easy to talk about. It's a lot harder to do. Take it from me. What I also tell you guys, you should have, what was that? Did I just step out of, what did I just fill on? Was that NASDAQ? You should have a broker that you give them the amount and they stop you out. All right, so I just stopped out of that NASDAQ. I gave it the old college try, but I'm fully aware these markets are just so hard to short. So I stopped out of my short that I took off of that guy. I was able to trail my stop at least. Remember, I elected to move it out of there. Now I just went long Izzy. So, this trading strategy called for a long, and I took it. I'm still bearish these markets, but it's just not happening yet. Again, thesis. Bearish meaning it's my guess. The guess didn't work there, did it? No. That's why I used the real-time volume event. So I stopped out of that short, and I just went long because it's still in this zone, and it was almost touched that zone. So long. Now I have dual positions on, which is always a treat. So I got NASDAQ. Actually, this could have maybe been a red rum too. Let's see what's going on here. So Algo Guy Cross. We have a trade for that too. When you get in a new event, as this thing's crossing, that doesn't happen, but you need to see I have a relative volume. The point is, I use this as a filter for my barks and licks. This is now crossing back up. Surprise, surprise. So technically, I could take barks and licks off of this guy long as well. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I'm long NASDAQ, short ES. So that's a blast. And remember, I moved this was my decision. This is going to leave a major mark if I'm wrong on this, but I decided to move it above all this. We've already talked about that. So I gave it the old college try. But this is the beauty, guys, of using real-time stuff. Like, you don't have to risk all the way up here. If you put this short on with me, here's your new event. Show your stop there. You lost 5 points. Big deal. The ATR is 6, right? You get out of the trade, on to the next trade. I said I'm electing to move it up there. It's going to hurt if it gets up there. That's my decision. But if you're just following the zone drawer tool, you're out. You gave it a shot. Wait for the next event. And actually, I could be long here, ES. But again, I'm not going to go long in the middle of all this. I would go long where I'm going to stop out of my shorts. So that's kind of a ways away from happening. We'll keep an eye on that. Let me show you guys this real quick, because there's always new traders on the Bookmap webinars. Let me post this. So this is everything I'm talking about. This is the drawing tool. Get on the Bookmap marketplace, right? There's 2 different versions now. You can get they still have it. You have to check this thing. I don't know why. All you have is a monthly. So they don't even have why is this not on here? So they're supposed to have the Pro tool and the basic. The Pro tool gives you the reversion trades. We'll talk about those. By the way, this is an A+ reversion trade for my room if they're watching, which I know they are. I don't know why it doesn't have the both versions. Anyway, this is where you get it up. Now you got to contact them in a little bit. And also, if you had a discount, so members of my room get a discount. If you had a discount to this thing and it didn't apply, it's because they changed something. So just contact them and say you had the discount, and they'll give you the refund for it, and then add it back. Anyway, that's this. You can watch the YouTube videos on that. Let me post this first.
Prior CL long retested.
Remember, I am long gold here too. I forgot to trail my stop to this puppy. Let's see where we're at. Hey, what do you know? It's coming straight back to the zone. So, for example, like I'm watching these other markets. I would have definitely been out of some of my long. I got long off of that guy. We talked about this right at the beginning of the webinar, and I just missed coming all the way. This just came back 60 ticks on me, and I wasn't able to get out of some. This is one of my areas. Heavy resting liquidity that it fails to get through. I would have been out of a couple of my 8 that I have on. Now it's coming all the way back, so that's just another mistake on my part. We'll get back to this, but I went long the bark and the lick off of this. Actually, I should have been out of my lick, some of my lick right there. So that's just a mistake. I'm sure I will get penalized for it greatly, because that's all that's happening lately. Every time I make a mistake, I take it on the chin. Anyway, here's the course. We'll go over that eventually. And if you can't get if you can't get in my trade room, this is free to my trade room, the spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet, all the spreadsheet is the zone drawing tool on the heat map, right? Here's the spreadsheet. You plug in the zones, plug in the ATR, and it gives you the prices. It's exactly what this thing is, right? So it's just the spreadsheet on the heat map makes things much, much easier. But there's times you're going to have to use the spreadsheet to, if there's zones that are merged or whatever, or say your zone jar is not working, which has happened to me a couple times this week. You got to come in here and use this. Anyway, you get access to that if you guys can't get in the room. You get access to that. Here's my website, email, and we'll get into the rest of the stuff. So let me post this. If you got questions, put them in the YouTube, please. And that's that. All right, so let me trail my stop to this gold. So let's see. I guarantee there was another area I should have got out of these two. I just wasn't watching it.
Republican U.S. Senator Cornyn says, "I absolutely want to review the House."
This is red lug. I'm going to break something. Just to let you guys know. Hey, what do you know? Just see. This is where I start to go on tilt. I can't go tilt on a webinar, so I don't embarrass myself completely. But I would have been out of my entire trade right there. These are Ludwig levels. That's in the document too. These are the second most powerful thing I've ever seen. There's a reason I use them, for that reason right there. So I completely blew this trade. I'm just going to trail my stop to this event, but I should have been out of this trade, and it was off of this event. That was a nice trade, right? Would have been in right around, I'm still in 06. That was a 75 tick trade, right? So that is my fault. It was just a mistake. So I'm going to stop. I'll stop out below the zone, but this is going to really suck if I stop out of this, because I should have been out of it. So not a good start to the day. So at least I didn't make a mistake in the equities, though. I mean, I lost on the Nasdaq trade. That just didn't work. On to the next trade. Hold on, let me put this in. 2565.5 50. So hopefully, if you guys got long, especially my trading room, you got long that. Hopefully, you got out at the lug. Pretty powerful stuff. This sucks. 25. What is it? 65. All right, those are working. That's upsetting. Let me make sure I got out of these other accounts for my Nasdaq loser. I am on as a yes in these accounts there. So I'm just short a yes right now still. And I'm long Nasdaq Izzy. So dueling positions, it is what it is. I don't like having dueling positions on, but I got a long setup in Nasdaq. Got stopped out of my short, and I took it. So I don't know what's going on with this as far as thesis. Like, this market has had plenty of chances to rip off the page to new highs once again, right? Plenty of chances. Plenty of chances there. He had another chance here. This is why my thesis was short. So, if this comes back again, then, if it gets through all this, then I would change my tune. But I still think that's going to happen. That's a guess. I don't know. I took my shot. I took double size. Didn't work. If I get another short setup, I'll take, in this area, I'll take double size again. So, in the meantime, I'm long. This is a perfect example. Like, that chart looks like the market's going to fall off the table. I'm long because I trade off of real-time events. That's that. Tortured in ES. So let's see what's going on in natural gas, because I really want to pay attention to this area. I've been talking about this area a couple days in my room. And I can almost promise you the move out of here is going to be an absolute whopper. And it looks like it's still in here. So the other day, this was Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Monday. Huge relative volume, this whole thing. So this is another example of a market. So first of all, it did this, right? Failed balance breakout, got through there. It did move a little lower, but it should have been killed. So then it came back, and I'm like, well, no, that looks long. And then it came, so the whole point is when something should happen, so that should have gotten killed. When it doesn't, you expect multiples the other way. Well, it did move decently, but then it failed back up here again. Now it's really just building one bigger balance too. But the point is, I can almost promise you, and I don't know which way it's going to be, the move out of this area is going to be huge, right? Huge. At least, so the rule of thumb is the size, aka the height of the balance area is usually the move. The expectation doesn't mean immediately, but over a day or two, that's the move you're going to get. For the volume that's in here, not all balance areas are created equal, right? Not all balance areas. Some of them are just low volume. This one I know is huge volume. So this move is probably going to go multiples the size of it. So just pay attention to this guy. It's smack dab in the middle. Nothing yet, but watch this. And the number just came out. So a lot of times the big money is waiting for the number, and then they start to initiate their positions. Just watch this puppy, because the move out of here, and it's probably, if I were a betting man, which I am, I would bet it's today. So keep an eye on this move out of here. And then you can use this stuff fractally too. Fractally, right? Fractal? Not practice. I'm talking about practice. Anyway, two balance areas, both are failing. So that's already giving you kind of a sign this might do that. So keep an eye on this market. Again, I'm not doing anything in here until I get, and I wouldn't trade double size because there's no thesis yet until it gets out of there. But the point is, use your real-time volume events. This was into the number. Someone tried to take a lucky guess here, I guess. I'm being facetious. It's not a lucky guess, but that turned bullish into the number. So nothing to do here. It already tagged the ATR above and below. Nothing to do for me here. I'm going to wait for a new event. And trust me, if that starts moving lower, I will be trading double size shorts to the short side. All right. Other than that, I screwed up this gold trade. I'm hoping that it can come back up here so I can get the hell out. I should already be out. And then crude. There's a good example of a failed balance breakdown. Right. This is crude. It's doing what it should do right now, meaning as far as structure. There's your balance area. Tried to break down yesterday. Bounced right off this Izzy zone. Really important. That's where this happened last time. Came back. Struggled with the high volume node. Gapped up today. This looks very bullish. This looks like it's coming back here. So thesis is bullish. Does that mean I'm just buying blindly? No. But if I get a volume event, I will take them double size based on my thesis. Right? You may have a completely different thesis. That's fine. The whole point is wait for your volume events in those directions. Now you got a real edge because now the real-time volume is telling you, say this was a bullish event, which, I mean, this one did the same thing. It chopped back and forth. But if this is a bullish event, now you're saying, okay, real-time's telling me bullish and my thesis is bullish. Time to go for the throat. Right? That's how I trade. All right. So let's see what's going on here. Market is kind of spinning in place. So this is interesting too. This is market profile or market pulse. Actually, I forgot to turn on tick strike today. Let's get a little tortured here by this thing. That's the one good thing. I didn't have to listen to these stop outs or the stop out on NASDAQ or this move up in ES. There's nothing worse than watching it and listening to it. This is crucial to my trading. It just gets real annoying when it's against you. It's not fun. Anyway, you can see here something's up, at least shorter term. And this is another pattern you can trade. We talk about all the time.
HE long validated.
This is market pulse, right? So you can see this was the most buying in the last hour, threshold-wise. So I have it set for 70%. So quickly, if you want to get this up and rolling, which I highly recommend. So here we go. Now I got to listen to that nonsense.
Sells EW 160 contracts.
I got some activity in wheat. Maybe we'll look at that. Anyway, you bring this up. You got all these options here. So they built this per my request, the market pulse, right? Because I wanted something like tick strike, but you can't see history with tick strike, so on and so forth, and you can see history on this. And then they just took it to another level. Now they had all these different algos, and they're all really cool and important. The main one I use right now is volume, pressure, and balance. And then you can set it, so you pick that, you open this up, and you move it to an hour. So or you can move it to wherever you want. I choose an hour, right? And this is just telling me, in the threshold 70%, this stuff is all just default. So meaning if this gets above 70%, it colors, and I pick yellow as my color, it colors it, meaning this is the most buying in the last hour, and it will, I want to turn this on so I can listen, and it'll give me some sound. So I had it muted, but next time I get it, there's a threshold, it'll let me know. So what am I getting at here? Well, what I'm getting at is someone came in here and was very aggressive buying this thing. Yes, part of these were stops, but trust me, 224 stops did not cause the most buying in the last hour. So there was also buying with these stop runs. The point is, these guys were aggressive, right?
That's 11 a.m. Eastern
And
time.
it
We get our
below
weekly EIA date. Crude oil inventories
Oh, we got
forecast a
crude
build
number.
of 1.6
What's the crude
million,
number
with a
today?
prior build of 2.149 million, with a range of a build of 3.5
I don't
million,
know why, because
withdrawal of
Monday was a
3.27 million.
banking holiday, so
And
crude numbers
gasoline
today too.
inventories
In,
forecast build of
10
1
minutes,
million,
9 minutes.
prior build
So I
of
would not have positions onto
0.412
that,
million.
obviously.
Distillate
Anyway,
inventories
aggressive
forecast build
buyers.
of 1.266
It's
million.
got below that area.
Prior build
Here's
of
your retest. If it made a new
2.947
low, you
million.
can take a short
And
off
crude
that
Cushing
and then stop out
inventories.
right there. This is
Prior
just
build of
more. This is way more for
0.522
scalps,
million.
right? And it's very fleeting. But that's how I trade it.
And Fitch Ratings say
I'll show
US
you a pattern. I was actually at a
policy
mentoring session
changes
this
may have
morning,
implications
and I
for
was showing
Europe's
them the
corporate
pattern in
sectors.
crude. This is exactly. It just happens over and over and over. I think it was crude. Was it crude or was it? Actually, no, it wasn't because I don't even have these colored. Or it might have been gold. Let's see. Just like showing you guys these examples. There's a million of them, and you're using real-time volume. Where is that here? Yeah, right here. Right. Great example. I mean, it is unbelievable how many times these patterns happen between the SI events and this stuff. So here you go. Market comes down. Most selling in the last hour, 100%, right? So it shows you 100% there. So sellers were aggressive. How did that work out for them? Imagine you were this seller. How would you feel if it did that immediately? You would say, holy crap, I just sold 300. That's my max to put on. I thought we were going down. Oh my God, please come back. Please come back. Oh, thank you, let me out. And then you get out. That is the pattern over and over. And if you think that's not what's going on, it's what's going on, right? So anyway, aggressive sellers, wrong immediately. Here's your retest. I don't know if this looks familiar. Retest, back out. So on this one, you could have said, if you're trading volume pressure, market pulse, volume pressure balance, here's your move out. We don't have like ATR requirements or anything like we do with the SI events. The point is, these guys are off sides. Here's your retest. When it makes the next high, you can jump in along and just risk the other side. Gone. Right? So that, and this stuff's very fleeting, guys. It's not as powerful, anywhere near as powerful as the SI events. But the point is, you can catch some huge, this is a great risk-reward trade, especially if you like scalping. You can trade off market pulse too, and you can add, so if I get long or short off a traditional SI event, I could be adding or subtracting my position based on the volume pressure events, right? Market pulse, which I have not even been listening to here. All right, so I'm long NASDAQ and I'm still short ES, and this was probably going to be a very bad decision on my part moving it above all that, but that was my decision. I got to live with it. Well, I mean, this is still spinning in place, and we did see these buyers come in, and they are wrong. So here's the retest of that area. It already did it once. So if I was just trading market pulse there, right, you could have gone. I mean, actually, this is all part of it. This is probably just moved. Yeah. So what I would, this was actually the first real move out of it. So I was kind of wrong when I gave that area earlier. That's the area I would have used. I guess this was the retest here. Why will this not change colors? All right. So anyway, that did retest, but this is like, this actually moved out of there enough. Here's your move back. So these buyers are like, whoever was wrong is probably like, let me out of some. There you go. So if you're just trading market pulse, you can maybe take a little short there and just risk above this last, this area. So that's market pulse. It's very fleeting. You got to be very scalper oriented mindset, but that you're taking advantage. You're trading off of something that's happening in the market, not some damn lines that have been in there for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? You get me? All right, so that's that. Let's see if you guys got any questions. Where's my stop in ES? Alex, I talked about that about 4 times now. So I should be stopped out already. If I was following this line, it would have already been saved me multiple points, right? So my stop, my original stop was up here.
On the prior build of
short,
2 spot
barking like this
149
guy.
million. With a range of a build of 3 spot 9 million to a draw
Stop
of
was
3
here.
spot
I
27
didn't get it
million.
in, but I would have moved it
Gasoline
there.
inventories
You got a new
forecast build
event.
of 1 million.
Move your
On the
stop
prior
right
build
there.
of
So
0 spot
right now I'm
412
wishing I probably
million.
should have stopped out right
Distiller
there. I
inventories
made the choice to
forecast
put it
build
above all
1
this
spot
activity.
266 million.
That was my choice.
Prior
If
build
I'm
of 2
purely
spot
following the zone
947
drawer
million.
tools, I'm out right
And
there.
crude Cushing
Out of the next trade.
inventories. Prior,
So
a build
I've
of
gone
0
over this
spot
like 6 times,
522
Alex, on
million.
this webinar. So I don't know if you were not on here, but I've already talked about it. All right. Crude number out in 5 minutes. I have nothing on here, and even if I had something on, it would be out. So we'll see what happens there. Like I said, this market looks very bullish right now. For some reason, this is a perfect example going into this number. What should happen is fail balance breakdown. This should rip off of the page. For some reason, if this comes back again, something's up. Then I'm going to be trading double-sized shorts because of what should have happened didn't. Again, all thesis. Just a guess. I don't know what's going to happen next. I will let the volume events tell me what to do. But if they're bearish and they're lower, I'm going to take double-sized shorts. If it's bullish, so say the number comes out, right? I'll give it a minute. I'm not going to take it, even if it's an SI event, I'm not taking it like right into the number or right after the number. Give it a minute or two. Say he comes in here and we get a buy ice event or whatever, or sell stops or whatever, and it turns bullish, I'm going to take double-sized longs because this is still in place. This is still not violated what I think is going to happen, right? So we'll see into the number here in 3 minutes.
CW long validated.
I'm telling you, keep an eye on natural gas. This is probably going to be the trade of the day here, the breakout of this puppy. And it's already looking, we already talked about that balance breakdown, that balance breakdown. This gets below this area. bye-bye. It's going to be a whopper. Like I said, the number's out too, so the big money's probably going to be unloading. So keep an eye on that. Let's see what trades I missed in Russell. Didn't I have a long in this? Might have been filled on this puppy. No, I never got filled. Yeah, remember I was going to take the Izzy long here. It just started now. Actually, I could take the probably bark and lick here too. What, did this tag here? I'm just a little disoriented in what I was doing here. It wasn't off. Yeah, it was off this guy, right? I thought this already proved bullish. Remember I said, because I said I should have been filled, but it was moving away. Am I seeing things here? No, yeah, right here. I take that back. So this did do, here's your ATR. And remember I said I was going to go long Izzy, and I would have been filled right to the tick and bitching this whole time. And I missed it, and I said if it comes back, I'll take it. So anyway, now I've got other trading strategies I could put on here too, potentially. You got your ATR, your retest, and it moves back out of here. See how it's just holding this area? That's because there's trap traders there, and they said, get me the hell out when it came back. Let's see what's going on here. I cannot put on barks and licks because Algo Guy is bearish. So my Izzy trades, I will put on. Remember, this is the first thing I went over in the morning, at the beginning of this webinar. All right. The Izzy trades don't require Algo Guy. That's the exponential moving average ribbon. That's all it is. They don't require that filter. So I'm willing to take that without Algo Guy being in my direction, but I cannot take barks and licks off of this guy. Long. So I still have the long working there, never got filled. ES is coming back. So, you know, if you didn't get out, you could get out at the normal entry. This is why I put my stop up here, because these traders here said, please let me out if it comes back. So that's why I put it where it's at. I'm still short of yes. And I'm long one strategy in NASDAQ, and that's coming back too. I got long at 06. I actually went, so here's another example, because I was on other markets. I got long at 06. This was a 35-point move. If this ran into something, it's my fault, meaning my important areas that I get out of my trade. So I shouldn't have a full position on. I can almost guarantee here I should have been on to something. Hey, what do you know? Did it again. That is just crazy. You guys can maybe, trade room guys that are on here, you can maybe let me know that we're at the lug. That would have been nice. So that was almost a 40-point trade. That's close enough. I would have been out of that short. But thanks a lot, trade room. Appreciate that. And on gold too. No one told me either. Not that you guys are responsible for my trading, but I could use some help if you guys are looking at the same stuff. So that's another trade I would have been out of a full amount. Well, there you go. So now I'm probably going to. I mean, the good thing is I'm short, yes, but I would have been out of that trade. Yes, it was only 40 points. Yes, it wasn't even a full R trade. I mean, a lot of the R questions, right? Yeah, that wasn't a full R trade, but I don't ignore important areas just because I want 2R on my trade or 3R on my trade. That's ridiculous. The market doesn't care what I want. The market cares about important areas. That was the red lug. I would have been out of the damn trade. So I'm going to put that in if that comes back up there. So since I'm not getting any help from my sweet trade room, my members that are not participating, you guys all get Fs, and you're all in the doghouse today, by the way. It's not going to be a pretty PM webinar. A lot of verbal lashings. So I'm going to put that up at right where that lug was that I didn't get out the first time.
Crude ice
So the US will sell $16 billion in 20-year bonds on November 20th.
So again, I don't ignore important areas. Ludwig levels are the second most powerful thing I've ever seen in my trading career, next to the Stop Iceberg event. So I don't need to squeeze out an extra 6 points. That I would have been out of that damn trade. So that makes me sad for multiple reasons. And that's down here. Ludwig levels. Go on there, join the free day trial, say you saw it on the Bookmap webinar, you get special pricing. All right, so 2 missed exits so far. I just love when I miss an exit. It never seems to just like plow through, and I've been like, oh, I would have been out there. It does happen, but I'm just like any other human being, right? I've been trading a long time, but I still have the same emotions as if I was trading 2 months, right? It's like, it's annoying. But that's, that's what happens when I elect to do these webinars for you guys. And it helps me too, because trust me, if I wasn't on the webinar, I probably would have already broken something. At least I would have been swearing out loud, being a little kid, because I missed 2 different exits. I missed the red lug there, and I missed the red lug in GC. Like, that's annoying. Trading's hard enough to be making mistakes on your exits. This is really, really annoying. I'm getting lucky to get another chance here to get the hell out of these things, but that usually doesn't happen. Take it from me. All right, so this is close enough. I'm out of these GCs because I can at least stop bitching. I had red rum. I had bark. And I had lick on. We didn't go over red rum. I did put it on. I did talk about it. So that was this. That's the strategy here. So once again, too, I say this every day, even in my trade room. These strategies are not for, if you come in my trade room and learn these, doesn't mean you put on every one of these strategies. These are strategies in my brain that I put out for you guys. You take 1, 2, 3 of them, 4 of them, and master them. Get really good at them. Doesn't mean take every single one of these. Pick which ones you like. Anyway, red rum was take fade trades in the algo guy red ribbon. SI events have to be either icebergs that are in the direction of algo guy or stop run fades. Dumb and Dumber. This is what this trade was. Dumb and Dumber. Down here. So this moved. Well, it was kind of opposite because it was a stop run, but the market had moved out, came back in. That was the red ribbon, right there. 752, right there, and then it moved out. So I took red rum, bark, and lick, and I just got out the red lug, and I got very, very lucky. It came back for me because that usually does not happen. So I'm out of that puppy, and I should have been on a NASDAQ. So I should already have 2 winning trades right now. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I'm still short of yes. Guys, this is a perfect example, though. I'm not saying I'm not going to get stopped out of this. What I'm saying is do your best. I mean, there's some days you have no choice. You just got to bite the bullet and stop out because there's event. What are you going to do? Move it up 40 points so you avoid all the prior activity? No, but there's times where, I was willing. ATR is 6. I was willing to say, okay, push it out another 6 points, and I'll say uncle. Right? So I'm still short this. And like I said, I'm still long NASDAQ, but I should have been out. So whatever. If this comes back, then I'm just going to stop out normally. But that was a mistake. So, but if this does come back, I can put on, and it probably will. This is the ATR reversion trade, by the way. So here's another trade that my room's doing. I don't do these on the webinars because they're just so quick most of the time. My room better be in this one, even though they didn't tell me about the damn red lug. So this is back in black. Right here, newest one. Take the 1, 2, and 3 ATR reversion trades. That's what these are, reversion trades. After market touches an important area and begins to move back through the given ATRs back to the SI volume event. Stops are placed at the normal. So what does that mean? So there's a couple different ways you can take these ATR trades. You can take them aggressively. So this is the zone drawing pro tool where you get the ATRs. So there's a ridiculous propensity for these markets to tag these ATRs and come back to the volume event. Which ATRs? No idea. Sometimes the 1s work nonstop. Sometimes the 2s work. Sometimes the 3s work. Right? So all I know is the odds of this coming back to this event is probably 75% or higher. I don't know how many ATRs it's going to go before that happens. How does that help you? Doesn't really. I mean, most of the time it's 1 or 2 or 3. That's why we have them on here. Sometimes, like yesterday, I think it was Madam Shizzle in her room, she caught a 6 ATR backdoor, right? So my point is, a safer trade, we have an A plus ATR where you take those into prior events. That one actually lost, and that's fine. It's trading. You're going to have losers. This one was into the red lug. You take, there's your 3 entry, there's your 2 entry, here's your 1 entry, and you get out at the zone. So that's a different type of trade. It's more of a scalp trade, but that is in play. That tagged the red lug where I should have been getting out of my long. Actually, the same thing with this event in gold, too. Actually, I think this is an example of that. Hold on, I'll look at that here in a second. So it got real close, and VWAP, as it comes back, take the backdoor ATRs. That is not so there's 2 different types of trades, right? These are my position trades, and that's on this spreadsheet. That's this part of the spreadsheet, right? The zone drawing tool. Same thing. That's this for position trading strategies. And then we have the reversion trading strategies. Again, this is not a current zone, by the way, so don't pay attention to this. I'm just giving you an example. That shows you the 1 ATR, the 2 ATR, the 3 ATR short. It shows you where you get in, shows you where you stop out. Here's your longs. So you have, depending on your personality and how you like to trade, we have position trading, looking for bigger moves. We have the reversion trades, which are more scalps. So let's see if this one bounced off the red lug. You could have taken the back door here. Yeah, so this is a perfect example, right? You didn't get to the 3, didn't quite get to the 2 either, but the point is, it doesn't matter. It tagged an important area. You take whatever ATR is there coming back, you take. This was this one. Tagged the red lug right there. Take the one coming back right to the zone. You're out. Right? That's a 30 tick trade. You're out of the trade. More for scalpers. It's ridiculous how often they work. Again, someone caught a caught a 6 ATR coming back. I mean, I think she just took the 3, 2, and the 1, but the point is, she waited for an important area, and very likely, I'm assuming, and then she took him coming back. All right, a lot of talking. No questions, huh? All right, I guess I'm just an expert educator. Is a spreadsheet available for one-time purchase? That's a good question. Actually, I have not considered that. You mean like a lifetime purchase? Let me think about that. I could offer that. Otherwise, again, sorry, that's not the right. Otherwise, you got the monthly, but yeah, I could, email me and remind me, and I'll come up with if you want the spreadsheet, I'll come up with a price for that. But otherwise, you just go to this website, the .org site, and if you want the spreadsheet, it's $50 a month, right? So, but again, guys, the spreadsheet, I mean, there are times you're going to need the spreadsheet, but the spreadsheet is the zone drawing tool. It's just that those levels put on with these ATRs and everything else put on the heat map. So you can get the zone drawing tool, you can get the spreadsheet, you can have both, right? If you remember my room, you get all this stuff for free. And if you get the zone drawing tool, you get a discount as well. But yeah, let me think about that. Send me an email, please. That's in here because I know I'll forget. Right here. Send an email and ask, and then I'll think about that. Good question, though. I actually never considered that. All right, let's see what's going. The crude number came out. All right, so we got numbers out. We got some sell ice here. I'm willing to trade this event. So we had Dumb and Dumber. What's a Dumb and Dumber? One of the 6 distinct setups. Let me just show you. I know I do this every time, and I always forget to bring it up because you guys got to remember. I don't care if you've been on these webinars with me for 8 years. There's always new traders, and they have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, right? So I gotta go over basics on these webinars. Log into this thing. I was gonna send a thing to my phone. Give me 1 second here. Well, crude will wait for me, so no big deal. Actually, didn't ask for my phone. All right, so this is this. I'm gonna have 2 new courses out, guys. In the next, I promise you, it's gonna be before Christmas. I'm gonna have my trading strategies course that goes over all these in depth, right? All of these, and then I'm gonna have the ATR reversion course. I wasn't originally gonna have the ATR reversion course because we have this thing working with a trading firm, but it's only in the A+ reversion. I haven't even gone over that, and I guess too many questions about it, so I rather just make a course, and you guys then you'll know what the hell I'm talking about because we have disqualifiers where you don't take the ATRs, for instance, like if there's heavy relative volume, you don't take them, so on and so forth. Anyway, this is my course. You get it on Bookmap web marketplace or my website. So this is what it goes over everything, right? Settings, thresholds, subchart, on-chart settings, the sweeps indicator, and then how you draw the zones. This is literally like I was drawing them wrong for about 7 years, but this is a progression. And it was still an edge, and I still was profitable, but we were more exact, and the zone drawing tool is obviously very exact. You want to know this too because there's times you want to, you have to merge events, or they're not threshold or whatever. You want to know how to draw them manually. But this is what I'm referring to, the setups, right? So we have the Dumb and Dumber, which is just a stop run. I'll just give you examples of these, right? So that one was a stop and hold. This one was a Dumb and Dumber. This is the epitome of a Dumb and Dumber in NASDAQ. Market came down, dumb money puke, instant rejection. Dumb and Dumber. That's the first one. Stop and hold. This is a stop and hold, where you get a stop run and then there's big money behind it, because usually the stop runs are just retail trader pukes, right? So this did try to fail, and then obviously someone bigger came in and pushed this thing, so that's a stop and hold. And I actually went long off of this stop and hold down here. That's the one I went long off of that I just got off of. Actually, but I could be putting another one on here, but that's into the red lug, so I'm not going to do that. right now. But anyway, that's the stop and hold. Then we have a Titanic. This was a Titanic, NES as well. You know, I took Barks and Licks off of this Titanic. So I have strategies that I take off of the events. This was a Titanic. Both of these were. Well, this one proved bullish, so no. But that one, the market moved into sell ice. That worked, right? This one was actually broken ice. That's another event. And I'm determining all these by if the market could push the ATR out of the zone. That is the best way that I've determined after trading 4.2 million of these things to determine how you're going to trade them, right? This was an A+ reversion, by the way. So if you got burned on the NASDAQ, guy, this is why you take every trade. If you're going to commit to a strategy or the reversion trades, you take every single one. The NASDAQ A+, so that's a good segue into the A+ reversion. I'm not taking these on the webinars, but this is the one that's working with the trading firm, right? It's when you get these ATRs, here's the 1, here's the 2, here's the 3. Right? We just talked about these and you don't know which one you take, blah, blah, blah. The A+ is if you get your entry that's into a prior event or before the prior event, as long as the stop is outside of the event. So actually this one may have lost the 1, but the 2 worked. Let's see here. So the ATR, the 1 ATR, your entry would have been right there. You see, right? It says 1 ATR reversion short entry. Looked like he stopped out of to the tick, but the 2 was a winner, right? Here's the 2 entry, right? Oops, sorry, right there. Oh my gosh, right there, and your stop was above. Your stop's up here for the 2. 2 is even better because your stop was almost out of this prior event too. So here's the stop for the 2. See where it says reversion 2 stop loss? So you would have lost on the 1 barely, but you got the 2 on. The 2 is a winner. That's net winner, right?
Russell Ice Ice
So you got to take them all. If you're going to take them, you don't choose. If you're choosing, it's just randomness. You might as well just flip a coin and then throw trades on, right? So take them all. So if you took that 1, you lost. The 2 won. But that's the A+. As long as your entry, the stop is outside of a prior event. That's what the A+ is too. I teach all this in my room, guys, and like I said, there's going to be a course out here soon. And then you got the double whammy and step pros. So this was a step pros. And I talk about this in the course too. This inherently is bearish. And if it turns out not being bearish, watch out the other way. This actually is the watch out the other way trade. So meaning this should have been bearish. This proved bullish. So I could have used this. I still can get out right here if I want. I should have used this to say, hey, that was a step row. You don't see this almost ever, this step rows where you get stop runs and sell ice. So like I said, it's like a unicorn. If that turns out to be bullish, that usually leads to that. So I could be out here, but I'm just going to, I'll get out of some of these because these ones are live too. So let me. I wasn't even thinking about that when I put in those original stops. Let me get out of some of these.
Order filled.
I'll leave one of them on. Other than that, I still have some on. I just got out of one of them. But what am I using to determine that? Well, 1, it's already come up here, and now it's come up here again. 2, again, that should have been a bearish event. And step rows, if they broken, meaning the other way, the ATR, they usually elicit huge moves the other way. So I still have, I just got out of one of them. I've got like 4 accounts that I'm trading this stuff, so I still got one of them on. But anyway, that's step rows. So those are the 4, and then we got how I use the ATR, right, for entries and stops, and advanced trading of the zones. And here's my lovely face. That's worth the price of the course right there, just to see me. Kidding. All right, so this actually is an A+ reversion. I'm not taking these because it's too labor intensive on the webinars. You've already seen me make 2 monster mistakes today. Here's your entry. Here's your stop through that prior event. You can take that trade. All right, so I'm trading position trading, so let's see if I can get in a trade right here. This is the most recent event. Sell ice. I think this is an Izzy zone. It is. But I have variations of the Izzy trade. So the best Izzy trades, the 80% of the Izzy trades are when you get moves into the event, into the area, and you fade it. You fade it. You fade it. Yes, this is a move into this, but there's a couple things why I won't take this aggressively. 1, it's breaking above all that balance. I don't want to just step in front of balance breakout. 2, it's been sitting in this zone for 3 hours. So yeah, the zone's important, but it's just been sitting here. So I will take an Izzy, but I demand an ATR retest. So what I'm talking about here And again, you get these trading strategies as part of my room too. And you see them here, but I go over them every day on my live trading webinars. Where is it? Right here. It's an aggressive entry most times. Take fade trades with moves into prior inflection zones. Then you have variations. This is both of those. In the case of a zone that is directly above, which it is, multi-day balance, trade can be taken but needs an ATR retest confirmed. Variation number 2. This also applies to a situation the market is accepting in the zone, building out. So this has been accepting into that zone and it's above balance. So I'll still take this. I'll still take this Izzy, but I'm demanding I'm not taking it first move out. Is all I'm not. That's I'll be getting in right there. If it does this, then I'm going to give it a shot, short. Other than that, you could take the A plus ATR. Oh, my room's sending me a message. Are you guys going to tell me we're at the red log this time? You guys are all in the doghouse. I'm going to have a PM webinar even if it's dead, just so I can give people verbal lashings. Oh no, there was nothing there. Actually, this is Bookmap. Oh, sorry guys, I almost forgot. Thank you, Dan. That was that alert. So we got next Thursday. Here, I'm going to put this in too. So that's this here. Oh, we didn't talk about Mentor Q either. These levels. We have another trade. So anyway, I'll put this in the this Discord link. Next week we're going to talk about using. It's a good segue into this stuff. So I use these are trader funding services. One just went under, by the way, a crappy one, obviously. I forgot the name. If you guys remember the name, put it in. I can't remember, just so no one goes in and puts money into them. I've been using Apex right here. Where is that? We'll go over Mentor Q too. That's the newest thing we're using. Right here, use Pulcini 50. So it should be on this link too. For any sale they've got going on, I think they got the 80% going on right now. Yeah. No, 50% off? I thought it was 80%. So they switch, guys. You just got to wait it out if you don't want to do the 50%. But you still got a discount off of whatever this is saying. So we'll get into this more at length next week. But this is a great way. This is a blessing for you guys, right? Like back, when I started doing poorly, when I had to trade my own money, like there was no, if you don't have it back then, you didn't have a trading firm. You were trading your own money. Now you can trade their capital. You got to do is qualify, but there's rules. We'll go over all this next week. Anyway, Pulcini 50 gives you any discount that is happening there. That's my affiliate code. That could be a thank you if you to me, if you guys sign up, that's my affiliate. So that's a thank you for the webinars that I do, showing you guys what the hell's going on in here. I'm really glad I got out of this gold trade, by the way. But it is what it is. I did the right thing there. Anyway, let me post this in the room here.
Validated.
That's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. US $95 billion in 4-week bills. Prior high yield 4.515% and a prior bid cover of 2.63.
I'm going to put this into YouTube as well. Oh, he already did. All right, so you put that in. So that's next week, guys. We'll go over like how I trade them, how I apply them to my strategies, the rules behind them. Because Apex, I got to refresh myself on the new Apex rules. And guys, so these trading companies are going under because there's new regulations coming out where they have to put a majority of their traders live, right? So of course the rules are going to change when they're not, because I guess there's some loophole. There is some loophole that they're all using where they can basically book your trades and they pay you. They're not putting your orders into the real market, but there's it's still legit. There's still, you have winning trades. I've been paid with them multiple times, so multiple traders in my trade room. But the point is, there's the regulations coming out as far as I know. Actually, this is an entry, by the way. Remember, we just talked about this. I don't know if you guys have seen this routine here, where it goes ATR retest. This is the A plus I just got talking about. You're out right there. I need to be short Izzy. No bark and lick here, though, because Algo Guy is not bearish. So I just got done talking about this. This is variation 1 and 2. Izzy short crude. Give me a second here. Alright, the question is, I just put on 8, is that right? Yeah, that's good enough. So I put on 8. Short Izzy, we got the ATR, and if you took that A plus reversion, that was a winner chicken for dinner, and then I'm short Izzy. So this is for example, this trade, even if it works, you're gonna be going through some torture. Very likely. Why? because it's above all of this activity. These shorts are feeling not very good right now. So even if it works, you're very likely going to get that. And finally it might relent, but and you could just say, I don't take trades when it's like that. Fine. You get plenty of trades that you're not taking shorts back in a huge volume events, right? So anyway, that trade is on. And if you're listening to me right there, not that I want you mirroring my trades, I want you guys to learn how to do this yourself. You caught that A+ ATR. And that's the whole point. I'm trying to teach you to do this for yourself. All right, ES is just spinning in place. Let's look what's going on Hero. And I'll talk about Mentor Q. That's our newest one. Same stuff as, not the same stuff. I mean, you got incredible Hero with Spot Gamma. That's on there too, by the way. Everything that I'm talking about, everything I use is on this sheet I posted in YouTube. There's the Apex. You get a discount to the Bookmap basic software. Here's the MBL bundle that gives you the SI indicator, the on chart, the market pulse is included with that too. So you got a lot of great things for that thing. Here's Mentor Q. I'll talk about that in a second. Here's Spot Gamma. So you can go with Spot Gamma and get access to all this stuff. His daily briefing, which is very important, and then the Hero and the Trace, all for free. You get it for 2 weeks. You get access to everything. Put in code Scott. That's that, and that's this. Let's see what's going on here. All right, and then the newest thing we're using is Mentor Q. I did a webinar with them. Let me actually post that too. All right, crude's breaking for now. Being short in here has not been fun lately either, even though it has moved lower every day lately. So I'm short.
Prior CL disqualified.
You can see this firing off. I want to get market pulse. This is on too, just so I can, maybe we'll have a chance we can add to this trade too, based on this. We talked about this earlier. Anyway, let me post this real quick. This is a very good, I did a webinar with him last week, or was it the week before? I'm going to post this in the channel. There you go. Want to watch that? You can watch other of my webinars as well. Anyway, this is this, and he's coming out. Well, let me not get ahead of myself. So these are his levels, options levels, and obviously most of them correspond with Spot Gamma. But Spot Gamma is only showing you like NQ, ES, RTY. Mentor shows you all these other ones. So if you're ever wondering, hey, why did that market bounce there? It's because you have options activity. These dealers have to hedge themselves. You have to be careful, though, in any of these options levels. And you have to be careful if you're just using, Brent he lives and dies by it from Spot Gamma because this is his thing. But the options dealers, yes, they are huge, and he shows on his webinars, so does Fabio from Mentor, how options trading is such a huge part of these markets now, these futures markets. And I totally agree. But the dealers are not the only players in town that, what I'm talking about is dealers have to hedge themselves when they get loaded up with options. They hedge with the futures, right? They're not the only game in town. So if you're looking, and we just did a webinar with, in my room, if you could join our room, you can see it, with one of the traders in my room that's using these levels. And actually you just saw right there a bounce off of one of these. You can use them for targets too. But anyway, he's taking these quick bounces, right? So the point is, say you're watching this level, right? I'm demanding an iceberg event no matter what. He trades them without iceberg events. He's okay with it. Then I'm fine. And he's taking quick scalps. I'm looking for bigger moves for most of my trades, right? I still means you can still trade this level. I need to see a volume event. The point is, if you're seeing heavy relative volume and this is moving into these levels and you're used to just blindly buying them, be careful. There's someone else in the market that just, these dealers are going to be hedging here. It doesn't. Some days it doesn't matter. These big funds are unloading these dealers. It's going to go right through here. It doesn't mean the dealers still aren't hedging. They're just not that big that day. So the best way to judge that is if you get heavy relative volume. So this is a great example. Right? Let's see what NG did here. Right. So this is a great example right here. So you see this? I'll rip right through there. How many guys just bought that? Like, oh, here's a call resistant butter. Yeah. Well, why do you think that went through there like that? Like hot knife through butter. Very likely, most likely. Because, remember I told you to watch NG, by the way, it's about to die. That's probably why, right? See this? Do not be just blindly taking these levels. I wouldn't even take them. We have a new trade. It's called Sexy Gexy. That's this other news trade right here. Take fade trades in the spot gamma menther Q levels. Gamma levels. Trade is taken immediately. So this is a great risk reward trade where you're not waiting for the ATR because you know the dealers are going to be there, right? Hedging. You just jump in. What I'm saying is I'm not taking, I'm already, that trades is work in progress too. I mean, I've already put it up. I posted it because I have faith and confidence in it because I know they work. But you do not want to be taking these levels if you see 4 times normal volume. Someone in here is going to be running over, very likely, the dealers. So this one bounced. I still wouldn't have taken this one. Not that there's a event here anyway, I don't think. This one's bouncing. But like this one, if you took that blindly, you just got your head kicked in, right? So just watch relative volume if you're going to trade Sexy Gexy or if you're trading these levels on Menther Q. Let's just see if there's an event here. This thing is literally going to, this thing's going bye-bye, I think. I think. It's a guess. Don't know. Pretty sure. Based on this. There we are. Remember, we just talked about this, and I said it's probably going to happen today. If I get an event now here, short in natural gas, I am unloading. I'm probably going to trade triple size just because I know that's what this yellow is. And you're getting that heavy relative volume again. This might be a absolute whopper today, right? Did I do anything yet? No. Why? Because, yes, I have an opinion. Do you see a volume event? No. That's my trigger. This is close, actually. This is my...
RTY short.
I'm willing to draw this, especially because this came in before. This is the threshold, aka meaningful trade, is 150. This one's 147, and you had something right before that. So this is 200. I'm going to draw this, and I'm going to trade out. This is a perfect example, what I was talking about earlier, where you want to know how to draw the zones, right, and or use a spreadsheet in case the zone drawer is not working. So you see here how this selling triggered this buy ice here, right? So someone tried to sell it and ran into icebergs there. So I'm going to start it there, and this is the great thing about the zone drawing tool. You can draw it manually.
Shortly
And then
expecting the results of the 4-week bill auction. I'll lead with the
came in
high
again there, same price. So this might be a 1-tick zone actually. And you had more over here. So you see that? See how it spiked? See how it spiked? I don't think this was part of that. Yeah, see how it spiked down a little bit there? So what I do right now, I'm just going to move this 1 tick lower. Then I'm going to move this top to there. And then if there's any more came in, I can adjust it, right? My crude's getting smoked, so that's good. All right, so this is it. This is not confirmed either way yet, but I'm telling you right now, if this thing tags this ATR line, ATR retest confirmed, there's a couple different trades I can take. I'm going to take the barks and licks, obviously, but there's a trade where I don't have to wait for the retest, and that's breaking away. What's breaking away? It's break of longer term. I got to hop off here shortly, guys, so I don't run into the next educator. That's this one here, breaking away, and that's an aggressive entry. Break of longer term balance area, right here. That would be a longer term balance area. That is about a week and a half, 2 weeks with all the heavy relative volume. That breaks below here, that's a break. And we have the second criteria. I don't just take breaks because you get juked so much taking balance area breaks because it's so obvious. I need to see with high relative volume 200% or more. Well, we've got that. That's the second right there. I'd say, I mean, it's not quite there right now, but that's enough right beforehand. So I'm okay taking the breaking away trade. So I could take the breaking away trade, right? And that's just one of them. And then if we get Algo Guy is, I'm sure, bearish. Let's see. Here's Algo Guy. That's my filter for barks and licks. So if this proves to be a bear, I'm not short yet, am I? I am not short because I need to see this confirmed. I could take breaking away, first move out of here. It says I could put on 1.3. I'm going to put on 4 because my thesis, if this comes down here, is lining up with the volume of it. Then if it goes ATR retest confirm, I'm putting on those 2, and I'm putting on 4 on those as well. So this is my shot for this trade. I mean, for this, my thesis, right? All right, crude's working too. I want to keep an eye on areas as well as it gets down there. Let me put these natural gas, and I got to hop off here because I just don't want to miss this trade here. This is breaking away. And that is 28.45. So 28.45 is my exit. I mean my entry. And then if it goes ATR retest confirm, which it probably will do because it does it almost every time, then I'm going to put on Barks and Legs. All right, still short of yes. You could get out here. I got out of one of my accounts based on this broken double wham step rows. Other than that, my stops are above here. Keep an eye on this. We're getting into a terrible time of day too where you get whipsawed to death. Other than that, I'm still short. I'm still long NASDAQ. Remember, I missed my exit there because I'm a moron and I just missed it. And then I am short crude. So as this crude trade, if this crude trade gets moving lower, and trust me, I am very quick to get out of these shorts. It's just so hard to be short in crude lately. Every single one rips back. It doesn't mean I'm doing anything different. I'm just going to be quick to get out at important areas. Where I'm on it. Sorry. So what am I watching here? Well, there's nothing for me right here to get out. So I'm going to let this go. My first area I'll watch is point of control of this guy. And then the bottom of this guy, and then blue lug. And you already saw me miss 2 lug trades, exits on gold and NASDAQ earlier. So that is my ultimate target if it makes it through. If I'm watching it, I'll give it a chance to blow through because it could form new lugs, but these things are so ridiculously powerful. I don't know if I mentioned these 2 areas that bounced off today, like that one, very close, and this one basically the tick at the time. Now 4 new lugs, but I did respond the first time. All right, guys, I'm out of gas. I do this every day in my trade room. Come on by, and we've gone over that whole sheet. And next week we'll go over the Apex stuff and how I trade and the rules behind them. I'll get refreshed on all the new rules. So what I was getting at earlier is they're going live now, so there's going to be a lot more rules. But that's the one that I put my name behind. I've been trading them for almost 3 years now. I've been paying multiple times, so I might remember. So we'll talk about that next week. I'll show you guys some of their payouts that have been in my room too. All right, thanks for joining. I will see you guys next Thursday. Thanks.